It's happening again. Apple is quietly preparing something new, something that could completely redefine what a TV means inside your home. Not a rumor anymore, not speculation from a forum post, but real hints buried inside software code, supply chain whispers, and sudden product shortages that always seem to appear right before Apple drops something big. And this time, all the signs point to one device, the new Apple TV 4K 2025. You might think you already know what an Apple TV is. A small black box, a streaming device that plays your shows, mirrors your iPhone, maybe controls your HomeKit lights. But the 2025 model is shaping up to be far more than that. Inside Apple Park, engineers have reportedly been testing prototypes that make today's Apple TV look ancient. Because this isn't just an entertainment hub anymore. It's about to become the central brain of your entire home. Imagine walking into your living room. You don't even touch a remote. The lights change automatically, the temperature adjusts, and your favorite background music fades in while your TV screen comes alive with your personal dashboard. That's the kind of seamless world Apple is building. And it all starts with this new box. Leaks suggest it's powered by the same A17 Pro chip that drives the iPhone 15 Pro. That's a processor designed for console-level gaming and advanced AI processing inside a phone. Now put that in a streaming box connected to a 75-inch display. Suddenly, you have power that rivals an Xbox Series S, but optimized for Apple's ecosystem. Developers who've peeked at early tvOS 26 code claim that Apple is laying groundwork for local on-device machine learning. In plain English, that means your Apple TV could learn from you, how you watch, what you like, when you pause, even the kind of content you scroll past, all processed locally without sending your data anywhere. Privacy plus intelligence. That's Apple's formula, but there's more. Supply chain reports mention a new Apple-designed wireless chip nicknamed Proxima. It supports Wi-Fi 7 and Bluetooth 5.3, built in-house to eliminate dependency on third-party chip makers. If that's true, this box will deliver faster connections, lower latency for gaming and AirPlay, and rock-solid smart home reliability. Apple wants your devices to talk to each other directly, instantly and securely, and Proxima might be the key. Now, what's fascinating is how Apple's timing always tells a story. Over the last month, Apple stores in the US have quietly run out of Apple TV and HomePod mini stock. That's not a coincidence. It's a pattern. Every time Apple prepares a refresh, older inventory quietly vanishes. And when two products disappear together, the TV box and the speaker, you start connecting dots. Maybe Apple is merging them into one. Imagine a hybrid device, a 4K TV hub with built-in high-fidelity speakers and spatial audio, something like a HomePod TV. No external soundbar, no clutter, just an all-in-one centerpiece that looks as good as it sounds. If that's the case, we could be looking at Apple's biggest living room transformation since 2007. Speaking of transformation, Apple's entire entertainment identity is changing. The company recently rebranded its streaming service, dropping the Plus. It's no longer Apple TV Plus. It's just Apple TV. At first, it seemed like a small naming tweak. But think deeper. That rebrand unifies hardware, software, and service under one name. When you say Apple TV, it now means everything. The box, the app, the shows, the ecosystem. And that tells us Apple's next step is total integration, a single living room experience powered by Apple Silicon and AI. So what exactly could this next device do that your current Apple TV can't? Start with the camera rumor. Multiple insiders, including sources who've worked on FaceTime integration for tvOS, hint at a built-in ultra-wide camera right inside the device. That means FaceTime calls on your big screen, no iPhone needed. It also opens doors for gesture controls, motion detection, and possibly AR overlays for future apps. Picture waving your hand to scroll through menus or using subtle head movements to navigate. It sounds futuristic, but Apple has already tested similar technology in iPads and the Vision Pro headset. And about the design, don't expect a wild color palette or glowing edges. Apple's sticking to subtle refinement. A slimmer body, better thermal design, silent operation, matte finish instead of glossy. It's the kind of upgrade you notice when you touch it, not when you glance at it. But the real wow factor could be invisible, the intelligence beneath the surface. Apple's next-gen Siri, codenamed Siri Next in early internal notes, is expected to debut on this device. Unlike the Siri we know, this version uses context and memory. It learns from your habits. It can actually start a conversation instead of waiting for commands. For example, your Apple TV could say, "You stopped watching Foundation last night. Should I continue?" Or it's getting late, want me to switch to night mode lighting? That's no longer a passive assistant. That's an adaptive companion, running entirely on the A17 Pro chip without sending your conversations to a server. Apple's goal is clear: make your TV proactive. And it doesn't stop there. Developers report that tvOS 26 includes hooks for Matter 2.0 and Thread, meaning the new Apple TV could act as your home's control hub. Every smart light, thermostat, or door sensor you own could route through it, faster and more reliably than through your phone or iPad. The result? A truly unified smart home network that responds instantly and intelligently. Now here's where it gets even more interesting. Apple isn't just building this for streaming or smart homes. They're setting the stage for something bigger: gaming. The A17 Pro's GPU supports ray tracing, variable refresh rates, and Metal FX upscaling, the same technologies behind console-quality visuals. Combine that with Apple Arcade, and suddenly you have serious gaming potential in a box smaller than a coaster. Developers inside the Apple ecosystem are reportedly testing enhanced tvOS builds of major titles using Unreal Engine 5 optimizations. Imagine playing console-level games without a console, wirelessly, quietly, instantly. And for that, Apple's new controller patents start making sense. Documents filed in early 2025 describe a modular controller system with magnetic attachments that can switch between Apple TV, iPad, and Mac. If that product ships alongside the new Apple TV, Apple enters the gaming arena, quietly but strategically, on its own terms. But what about the price? That's the twist. Historically, Apple TV devices hovered around $129 to $179, but supply chain analysts, including Ming-Chi Kuo, predict a sub-$100 model this year. Yes, Apple, the company known for premium pricing, may drop below the psychological $100 barrier. Why? Because the profit won't come from hardware anymore. It'll come from subscriptions: TV, music, arcade, Fitness Plus, iCloud. The more Apple TV boxes in homes, the more recurring revenue Apple gets every month. It's a long game, and Apple plays long games better than anyone. So when could it launch? All eyes are on Apple's October event. Historically, that's where Apple reveals smaller but strategic hardware: iPads, accessories, and occasionally surprise products. And with store inventory shrinking and tvOS 26 rolling out, everything points to a fall 2025 reveal. If Apple follows its usual timeline, pre-orders could open right after the event, with units shipping in November, just in time for the holiday wave. Now think about what this means for Apple's broader ecosystem. We're watching the slow merge of Apple TV, HomePod, and Apple's smart home vision. The company isn't chasing streaming dominance. It's chasing home dominance. Every show you watch, every command you give, every ambient sound in your house, all routed through a single Apple device that learns from you while protecting your privacy. That's the big pitch. While competitors like Amazon and Google rely heavily on cloud data and advertising, Apple's approach is the opposite. They're building intelligence that lives inside your home, literally in the hardware you own. Its privacy is a selling point, not a disclaimer, but let's zoom out. If Apple's 2025 plan unfolds as insiders predict, the Apple TV 4K could quietly evolve into something much larger. A neural home computer disguised as a streaming box. A miniature version of the Vision Pro's brain, sitting under your television, handling everything from AI inference to multi-device sync. Essentially, the gateway to Apple's next decade, where ambient computing replaces screens and AI becomes invisible. And that's the genius of it. You won't even realize how integrated it is until you've been using it for months. Your iPhone syncs instantly when you walk into the room. Your Apple Watch triggers adaptive lighting. Your HomePod adjusts the sound field based on where you're sitting, all coordinated by that small black box. So let's step back and look at the clues again. Rebrand from Apple TV Plus to Apple TV, check. New tvOS with advanced AI hooks, check. Store shortages and shipping delays, a check. Firmware leaks referencing a new model ID, check. Everything lines up, and if the rumors of a Pro variant are true, we might even see two models: a standard Apple TV 4K 2025 with A17 Pro and 128GB storage, and a Pro version with double storage, faster I/O, and advanced audio support. That would give creators, gamers, and prosumers a real reason to buy in. Now, what will Apple actually call it? Maybe just Apple TV 4K 2025, or maybe something bolder: Apple TV Pro. Either way, the message will be the same. The future of television isn't just pixels, it's intelligence. So as we wait for Apple's October event, here's the reality. Every leak, every software hint, every missing product on the shelf is part of a story that Apple has written very carefully. A story that ends with a living room powered by Apple Silicon, driven by AI, and wrapped in the simplicity that only Apple can pull off. And when the lights dim on that keynote stage and Tim Cook walks out, he might not just introduce another streaming device. He might introduce the next chapter of how we live with technology. Because the Apple TV 4K 2025 isn't really about TV. It's about the home that thinks with you. It's about privacy that doesn't compromise intelligence. It's about blending entertainment, connection, and automation into one seamless experience. And that's the story unfolding right now, behind closed doors in Cupertino. A story about a small black box that's about to become the most important device in your home. The quiet one that controls everything else. So keep your eyes on Apple's October stage. Because when this thing is unveiled, you'll realize something. The future of TV was never about television. It was about transforming the space around it, and Apple is just about ready to press play.